done to earn my grace, and I've never heard you speak anything but your love for me, anything but identity. What a friend I found in you, Jesus. What a friend I found in you. But no one else can keep their promise. I can always count on you. You've only made me feel that I was welcome in your house, that I was honored and adored. You've seen me at my worst, but you never held it against me, running to me when I return. What a friend I found in you, Jesus. What a friend I found in you. And no one else can keep their promise. I can always count on you. What a friend I found in you, Jesus. What a friend I found in you. But no one else can keep their promise. I can always count on you. You've been my savior, you've been my shield, you've been my defender on the battlefield. You've been my father, you've been my rock, you've been my portion, and you're more than enough. You've been my shelter, you've been my strength, you've been my provider again and again. You've been my redeemer, and I can't comprehend how the God of creation called me his friend. What a friend I found in you, Jesus. What a friend I found in you. No one else can keep their promise. I can always count on you. What a friend I found in you, Jesus. What a friend I found in you. But no one else can keep their promise. I can always count on you. You've been my savior, you've been my shield, you've been my defender on the battlefield. You've been my father, you've been my rock, you've been my portion, you're more than enough. You've been my shelter, you've been my strength, you've been my provider. I found in you. When no one else can keep their promise, I can always count on you. I can always count on you. I can always count on you.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say pit bull? And I'm not talking about the hip hop artist. I'm talking about the dog. See, I've got 2 pit bulls, and they are the best dogs I've ever had. But unfortunately, they get a really bad rap. And some people immediately think of dog fighting. Maybe you think aggressive killer dogs. But they're really super loving, they're really loyal, and they're very, very playful. Except when it comes to like our pillows and my socks, and then they're definitely killers. So now I want you to think, what comes to mind when I say the name Judas? What's the first thing you think of? Maybe it's traitor, betrayal, treachery, evil. You know, if you Google the name Judas, the first thing that comes up is Judas Iscariot who betrayed Jesus. He is synonymous with betrayal. But what if we're missing something? What if Judas wasn't exactly who we all think he was? What if he also gets a bad rap? Now, for some of you, this may go against everything you've ever heard, but let's try to wrap our brain around this for a second. Here's some facts you may or may not know about Judas. Judas was a Jew, which means he studied the law. He grew up studying the law. Judas most likely hated the Roman occupation, but he was a follower of Jesus. Judas believed in Jesus. Judas thought Jesus was the Messiah. Now, Satan did possess Judas, but that wasn't until the Last Supper in the upper room, like the last 12 hours of Jesus' life. So how does a guy who believed Jesus was the Messiah end up betraying his own master? Like, he followed Jesus. He spent 3 years with him. He saw hundreds of people get healed, fed thousands of people. He witnessed a guy being raised from the dead. Judas went from the guy that Jesus called to follow him to the guy that he was speaking about when he looked at his 12 disciples and said the words, "One of you will betray me." I don't think Judas woke up one morning and said, "You know what? I'm going to betray Jesus. He's the Son of God. That seems like a good plan." I really don't think that's how that went down. And I think it's safe to assume that Judas wanted Jesus to be the Messiah. Otherwise, why would he have spent 3 years following him? So let's connect the dots here. Judas was a Jew, which means he studied his whole life. He studied the Torah, which we call the Old Testament. He hated the Romans. He was waiting for the Messiah to come and kick the Romans out so they could have their country back. They wanted their temple back. They wanted to be free to worship God however they wanted to, without corruption, without fear, without the politicians with all their own agendas. Pretty sure we can all relate to that. Judas wanted Jesus to be the Messiah. He wanted him to be the Son of God. But unfortunately, he had different ideas about what that actually looked like. But he wasn't the only one. Several of the disciples of Jesus were confused about how Jesus was going to come into power. They expected this immediate establishment of Jesus' heavenly kingdom. But instead, they saw someone who healed, did miracles for sure, and clearly was the Son of God. But his kingdom wasn't about kicking anyone out. It was about serving. It was about love. It was about grace and peace. Jesus himself said he wasn't there to be a judge. This undoubtedly was not only confusing, but probably very disappointing to Judas, because that plan wasn't something he had signed up for. You know, the funny thing is, the more I study the life of Judas, the more I see someone I never wanted to see when I think about him. I see me. How many times have I acted out of impatience with Jesus' plan, and instead of surrendering to God's will, I take matters in my own hands? How many times have I acted out of fear and made a rash decision that went against what God was calling me to do or how he was calling me to do it? How many times have I had the false expectation of God's mission or the wrong way to accomplish God's mission? And when I think about that, I realize when Jesus said, "One of you will betray me," he wasn't just talking to Judas. He was talking to me.